Welcome to all of you. As I said, this is a platform where we aim to design the leaders of tomorrow by bringing together pragmatic business acumen with imaginative creative spirit. So, firstly, I would like to thank all of you for joining in and thank our partners QGlue, Classic Legends, Phi Capital, Mahindra First Choice Wheels, and Simply.coach. This event is brought to you by Seagull Live, the catalysts in your transformation. I'm Sudhindra. I am the host for in this session. I'm a design and a digital leader with IBM. I used to be the chief design officer for IBM till very recently. I now work out of Australia. I am also joined by my co-host Inderjeet Thareja, who you can see with the same background as me. She is an HR consultant and a leadership coach as well. The panelists today are I'm very, very thankful to the panelists today, Pakaj, Bansal, as well as Alok, Nandi. Thank you so much for joining us, Pakaj and Alok.
Has changed forever, I feel, because our lives today are run by algorithms. So first time I have seen science at work at a scale. Practically, I will challenge you all to think of an area where you don't use an algorithm to live your life. We have remote working, on-site working. So from every angle, we have artists and scientists working together in the same lab. Right? This was never the case. We heard only Steve Jobs kind of stories where we said, okay, there were designers who were doing very creative work and there were software engineers who were working together in the heart. But for probably the first time, it is the norm now that scientists and artists will work in the lab together. So that's truly collaborative.
And that is where I would like to position the question by Sudhindra by telling scientists are looking at phenomena, what is happening. Artists are expressing their points of view on what is from their human sensibility happening on the planet.
Yeah.
Designers, on the other side, are working with others and trying to envision the next.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sudhindra, you are asking the question of what is the philosophy of design? I'm trying to clarify a designerly way of looking at stuff is first trying to understand what is and trying to get a sense of what could be. And there is this very bizarre gap between what is and what could be that is, on my point of view, the focus of design. Phenomena, what is happening. Artists are expressing their points of view on what is from their human sensibility happening on the planet.
Yeah.
Designers, on the other side, are working with others and trying to envision the next. Now, design is about how it works.
Yeah.
Of course, it is also about how it looks. But how it looks is the 5% at the end. And for me, design is about the expression of intention.
Yeah.
It's a strategic act. It's trying to envision what could be in terms of strategy, in terms of systems, in terms of experience. And there comes the chain that Pankaj was mentioning, and where the notion of well-being needs to be taught at all these different scales.
As a leader, what I'm attempting to do in the last couple of years, and I'm expecting the leaders around me to do, is what we call the narrow specialist and a deep generalist. So when I hear Alok, I hear a definition of a deep generalist where design is embedded. You can't say somebody else will come and do a design for me, right? So I'm building a tech, but I can't write an algorithm if my user is not in my mind, if I have not listened to my user, right? The best apps that you still like are the apps where design is the beauty because we've understood what the user wanted. So am I going to go for a deep generalist or a narrow specialist? So I'm not saying narrow specialists will not be required. You will always have a nuclear scientist. But the point I'm trying to say is that the world will belong now as we move forward to the deep generalist.
1998 and 2003, 2004 was the internet.com.
Yeah.
Capitalism trying to control. So what is leadership in digital age?
Yeah.
Requires us to think about this evolution of what was digital age in the 60s when internet was invasion by military, what was digital in the 90s when it was becoming public, what was digital age powered by social media in 2004, 5, 6, 7, what happened in 2008, 9, iPhone, mobile, Nokia dead.
Yeah.
India is a fascinating place with mobile taking over rather than desktop.
Yeah.
Europe is still busy desktop thinking.
Yeah.
Asia is mobile thinking.
Yeah.
How does that imply in terms of design?
Yeah.
So the connections I'm trying to make here is zooming in, zooming out,
Yeah.
going deep and trying to understand what can be collaboration today, taking into account everything which happened to us, and how we can re-question some of the assumptions. May I be very, very provocative?
Yeah, please be. Yeah.
I hope I will not offend anyone in the room.
Oh, well.
MIT, IIT, IIM, all those folks. How have they been educated? They have been educated with a number of paradigms. And those paradigms are short-term based. They are output-based. What I'm trying to mention here is, in order to answer the question, we need to go back to our education systems. Our education systems has created the silos, has created pseudo specialists, not even real specialists.
Schools, I agree with Alok, are sorting machines. They just sort people too early. Give me 10 more years. Let me decide whether I want to go here or there. In my time, it was science, commerce, or arts. Only the three things. So I think our education systems have improved, but far from where we would like them to be. Number two, and Alok, I'm commenting on your point. Why is it happening? Very simple answer. Reward that behavior. If you go to IIT and IIM, I'll give you the best salary. So I'm rewarding that behavior. When I'm rewarding that behavior, I know that there is somebody, there's a company called Lotus. We are thinking on design. The founder of Lotus is not a so-called professionally trained designer. It's one of the finest companies in the country today. So there are far and few cases like that. Can we start rewarding what is the right outcome than the prescribed outcome? The whole story is between this right and prescribed.
We need to bring back poetry, because we have there 3,000-4,000 years of knowledge, which has been condensed, metaphorized, which is interesting.
In Hindi, there is a word called samarthya, right? Leadership is the capacity to deal with ambiguity, negativity, failures, anxiety, not having clarity, being taught wrong, all these so-called negative things in life. If I can get over them by increasing or enhancing my capacity, is when I become leader.